What's going on, guys? Want to just chat about some things ahead of market open tomorrow. Um, Not going to go over all of Sunday scans, but I want to talk about a few things, just broad weekly things first. We've got FOMC on Wednesday. That's really the only notable data. Be Kevin Warsh's first press conference. You're going to see a lot of opinions, a lot of people talking about it. Nobody knows what the fuck's going to happen. So just treat it like another day, that there's an event occurring, have a plan, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Earnings season pretty much over. We've got JBL. It's really the only thing that is of interest. Not really much to cover on the market monitor. I actually want to use ours. Not really much to cover on the market monitor here. Thursday, you can see this massive breadth thrust day, plus 771 versus plus 47. On up 4% versus down for 4%. It's going to differ slightly from Pradeep's because ours are universe is slightly different. Our cap is smaller, actually, a little bit more narrow. Anyways, you can see the number of stocks extended from ATRs as depleted. One thing that I do want to mention on here is the percentage of stocks above the 5 SMA is up at 76. And most likely with the market gapping up, I know futures just opened. Actually, I haven't looked at it yet. We're up 1.3% right now. So who the hell knows what happens over the next, 12 hours or whatever. But that's likely going to be really high in the morning. So I just want to kind of caution away from smacking things on the gap up tomorrow. But if we end up closing strong tomorrow, this is likely going to be in the 90s or mid to high 80s, most likely, which is near term. It's called the fear FOMO indicator. Near term, that is a sign to not necessarily press the gas. It's a contrarian one, right? You want to press the gas when things are, that percentage stocks above the 5 SMA is lower, so on and so forth. Okay, you can see back here, good buying opportunities as this is in red, so on and so forth. Okay, not much I want to cover here. Oh, percentage stocks above the 5 SMA on the trading view indicator as well, sitting right 77, 75. So very similar to ours. Again, our monitor is just a little bit different as we've got a more specified universe. Not much to say on the Qs here or the indexes. I like the fact that we undercut this $700 level, quickly reclaimed. I like this bull gap right here from early May. We dipped right into perfectly. Very same thing on SPY here. If you take a look, let me pull this up actually. If you take a look right in this zone from early May, came right in there and held the bullish gap. It's always important to mark those out. Often near term, big areas of support. I drew this little rising channel on IWM. Actually, I think it is going to come into play tomorrow. Let's say we gap up, we get 300 upper channel. Again, considering that plus the percentage stocks above the 5 SMA, definitely a little bit leaning a little bit more hands off. Into the strength, I think that's reasonable. I think that's logical. We'll see. SMH, nice, pullback correction, nothing wrong. Not much to mention there. Bracco gave some nice commentary about his XOXL position. I was thinking around that. I thought it was a perfect vehicle for it. Really like how he used the tap of the anchored VWAP from the follow through day, and then this undercut of that spot that we just covered. A lot of areas of confluence actually, to indicate that this was the best vehicle, and this was a good spot to go ahead and take that. So I wish I had more of the positions that I still had from last week. We can get into some things now Micron, obviously wish I still had this. I was kind of drawing out this little contrarian thesis right here, but they've got earnings on the 24th, so that's 10 days. So, I actually don't think this is going to be wedging up and then wedge drop. I'd be surprised if that occurs. I imagine it will more gap up and fall through on earnings. So I think this drawing is actually probably not necessary. If anything, if you're going to pull back into this bull gap support, probably be opportunity. A little bit frustrated. I sold the rest of my position on this from, I was long at 417 from back here. Where was it? Right here. I got long at 417 on this and sold up here at the end of the rest of my position as we basically engulfed this candle 930, 940, somewhere around there on this Tuesday. We ended up recovering most of it back to 1,000. Just another example, we can't outsmart the moving average. I should have just blindly trailed the 20-day moving average. That was definitely a mistake. BE, I was forced to close last week as well, below this. On this rejection of the declining 20 MA. I wanted to trail the 50 SMA, and I essentially did. I added to the position, back here in the 270s after getting long here in April, and then adding to the position here at 200 after some sort of news. I can't remember exactly what it was, but here are my, two original buys on this. And then added to the position right here as we were kind of putting in this higher low, thinking, okay, we're going to trend up to 400. And that raised my average a little bit. But, then it gave a nice little UNR setup. It closed below the 50 SMA, pretty harsh drawdown. This is a volatile stock. It was down about 30% off of highs, closing below the 50-day moving average. And then quickly, reclaimed it. This is a nice, bounce recovery of about 15% up into there. Ideally, right, we build out a little bit of range, in between, 300 and 240, 250 here, and then get another little area to risk off of. But it's actually my main focus. I was hoping for a week open. Actually, I was hoping for a couple inside days into FOMC was going to be ideal. This is kind of what I was envisioning, just two nice, perfect tight inside days wedging down to give us a look like that. And it looks like we're not going to get that. I actually want to check one more time just to make sure that wasn't a fluke. 1.4%. Okay. Pretty intense gap up here to chat saying. Let me take a look. Fun stuff, guys. Okay. Otherwise, some other stocks that I do want to cover. Let me pull that back up. I just want to kind of further highlight. Intel was able to get along this as well, 112.5. Talked about BE already. Marvel ended up getting, an exposure piece of this at 275. Dell, I think this offered a good opportunity, on this, flag consolidation. Again, wouldn't be surprised. Some of the things that I said, most of it is, wouldn't be surprised if these enter further consolidation, and wouldn't be surprised if they continue from here. MBIS was able to get long this as well, as it pulled back to 200 last week, so happy about that. Again, ARM is actually looking back, there's a perfect buy at 300, undercut of the 20 May, inside day hold and remount. Really, really clean look. AMD, again, leader, keep it simple, pulling back to the 20 May. Nice and tight here. Qualcomm, still interested in this. GLW is another one, closed below the 50 SMA, remounting, undercutting this range. I think that this is really attractive as well. Nokia, I think, is really attractive. APLD. OUST, still have my position from 28.5 right there. I think this is very attractive on OUST. AEVA, Twilio. So actually, two of the things, if I had to narrow my focus into, again, personally, if you don't have some of the stocks that I have, or if you have different ones, you might have a little bit different focus than I do. But if I had to list out my focus stocks, it's pretty simple. BE is on that list. Twilio here is on that list. Snowflake on that list. Qualcomm on that list. ARM, Dell CrowdStrike. And then let's throw in one other little more specky name. How about INOD? I think is very reasonable. It's a little bit thin. GLW. Let's get one more spec name. What are we missing? MXL. You know, you could throw some of these mid-tier semis in. I listed a few of these on here. D-Dog, Flex. I like all these. UMAC. Oh, there we go. There's our spec one. UMAC. But I listed a number of these spec semis mid-tier right here. And I think these are, I think all of these are really attractive. Powi, Vico, MXL, AHR, SEMO. I actually like SEMO here. Dude, this is a thin stock. It's only $1.4 billion market cap. Dude, this is a thing that could go just insane. Breaking out of a 4-year base right here. Yeah, this is hot, guys. I wish I would have bought this at the Anchored View app. Right there. Look at how the Anchored View app is responding to this. Nice little pullback. Boom. Nice little pullback. Boom. And like I said, it's only $1.4 billion market cap. This is one that could move big time. Doesn't trade super thin. It trades a little thin, but not like super crazy thin. Yeah, guys, that's about it. I think the watch list stuff is really easy. Oh, one other area of the group. I still have I think that cores, APLD and Hut, maybe Irene, CLSK, maybe even a Riot. I think you can have some of these on your list. I got MBIS, so I'm happy. I had APLD. That was another one that I had to close on this big gap up on news, and then as it kind of came back through, 43, 42 bucks. And I had to get rid of it. Turns out it kind of held a nice rebuy here on Thursday. But I ended up getting other stuff. So overall, I wish I would have just held every single thing that I had. I had good stocks, had really good spots, and yeah, that's what it is. But able to get some into some really good positions too. Additionally. See what Marvel does. We'll see what MBIS does. But yeah, that's the focus. If you guys got any questions, any thoughts, any commentary, you guys know I love interacting and answering questions and seeing what you guys are looking at. Sometimes there might be something that I missed, but I scan the market every single day, pretty much every single stock, and I always come back to any new stocks. You just need the best of the best. And what I was saying was, I really do think the watch list construction part is super easy right now. I think building out your watch list is not hard to do. I think there's plenty to choose from, and I think of those plenty to choose from, I think the best ones are obvious. And I think depending on where you are in your trading journey, I think you just focus on trading the best stocks. It sounds crazy, right? But I think you just try to focus on trading the best stocks the best you can. All right. See you guys.